I make a point not to try to communicate as much throughout the week so that I save shit for the pod. So like just to encapsulate how it's been. Catch me up. How you been?
Well, well, then again, we did kind of talk a little bit
Oh yeah, I
before.
ruined it because like I had to fucking see what was up in the midst of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying?
But since then, it's been good. It's been really good. I've kind of taken my time to settle down, organize things mentally at least,
But
and then like take my time to understand that there's more to come.
right,
And like I told you, everything's already figured out.
right,
I don't have
right.
to do so much or feel pressure to figure things out. It's already being worked out.
This is good.
And there's always a solution to everything. So
This is good. You talked about pressure, and I'm feeling good. I like the progress looking at these episodes going forward and whatnot. We started off, so yeah. I mean, I'm still like a work in progress, but like motherfucking like no pressure. I don't feel the pressure I used to feel of like feeling like I had to chase women and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like I can be happy in the space that I'm in because I'm focused in that.
yeah,
So I mean, it works. It works.
hell yeah. So well, if that's the case, I guess that's how you've been feeling is like not having the pressure either.
Yeah, yeah. The pressure's off the shoulders because it's like shit, man. A lot of times you just need to step back from the picture to see the bigger picture. I guess like get a little clarity as you had mentioned.
Yeah.
Get a little clarity. So yeah, we on the route. We
Yeah.
feeling good.
And plus things, and that's not to take away how things could be worse. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but when things do happen, it's really all up to us about how we're gonna handle it.
Yeah.
And when in the situation that I'm kind of in, I come to Aaron with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And
right.
he's just always just like, yo, like chill.
Relax.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
yeah.
it's fine. And he's always been that way when like, but that's just me. My initial reaction to stress, to a problem, to whatever is to like not is to, but naturally I'll kind of mentally scramble to get something out of it right away
Yeah.
instead of just pacing myself and knowing that there is a solution to it. You'll find it better just by chilling the fuck out.
Shit, I feel like a big contribution to that, like that stress, is that social media shit. I've been off for like a good 2 weeks now, dog. I do for some reason well, we could delve into the reasons, but it's affected confidence and everything. Like positively though, like leaving it alone. I don't know. I'm not even as tempted when I do see the platform, like the layout. You go into it. There's the people. The stories are up top, and then you scroll to see the timeline. Like I catch myself going back to see it in Safari, and I'm not even as interested. Like it don't pull me like it used to.
Yeah, when I took my break from it like a few months ago, it was the same thing. I would use Google Chrome and be like, it don't really appeal.
Yeah, like I ain't missing out on nothing.
Yeah, it's not doing anything differently than what it was doing before.
Right, right.
You know.
So now I'm wise enough. I know I can still use it as a tool and whatnot. I just I haven't gotten the discipline yet to utilize it in its proper way.
Right.
So going back to it, I definitely want to have a better consistency on what I'm doing because I've had this LLC just kind of sitting there and not doing much with it, and so bringing my website back to life and like kind of you really putting the use to social media again. That'll bring me back to it appropriately.
Yeah, for sure. Everything is everything in balance.
Right, right.
Everything needs to be in balance, and I think that's one of the things that I put on here about balance. Was a caption of mine, but
Yeah, yeah.
either way, more and more I'm starting to figure out that what works for me is always having that good in between ground. And what I mean by that is I don't want to be super down, but I don't also want to be super up either.
Speaking of which, I was just thinking, like, as you say that, I was like, damn, we getting serious. Like, I said, like, and I can appreciate it because, you know what I mean, we grown, we mature, so a lot of these things we're discussing are just our daily life and shit. I was like, man, where the jokes at? I said, we losing our edge.
We're losing our funny. Funny money.
I said, this shit depressing. Hold on. I come here not to think about my problems. No, but it's cool. I'm just fucking with you.
It's even funny that you even say that because, again, people be asking me what this podcast is about, and I'll be like, not a damn thing.
I can't pinpoint it.
I'll be like, it's a lot of laughter, there's a lot of introspection, more laughter.
And you know what? I think during the laughter episodes, I had the subconscious thought of, man, I want them to be able to learn something.
They ain't gonna learn shit.
Now we come in here, we giving them the grown tip, the introspective tip, and I'm just like,
but you gotta think too. Like, again, we talk about these things.
Indeed, we was just you were saying like we have seen each other throughout the week.
Yeah,
it's just at the table chopping it up without the recording, and it's just like the same topics in which we would discuss with a camera are the topics that we discuss without it. Politics, this, that, the usual. We pile in. I said, nigga, we practice.
Speaking of which, you had mentioned something when we were at the table, like how we've always kind of like the evolution of how we've had our conversations.
Right.
From very young to teenagers and our young adulthood and to now, like when I really think about it. It always kind of it takes me to a place where I'm like, damn, yo, if it's one thing that I know is kind of always for certain is that when we get together to discuss these things, we always kind of end up walking away with another point of view and like more insight to something.
Yeah,
you know, and then later on we always harken back to like what each other said or how we felt about something. These things.
Yeah, like. Shit, we always talk about like going back to McDonald's, but even before then, like just any kind of conversation we would delve into, it really it just painted the picture for where we was going to be going forward, and
that's what it was. Yeah, we would always talk about what we wanted to do or how we wanted things to be, and surely it became more of that, and then we would end up sitting in those spaces,
right?
You know,
like it's really a blessing to be living in what you had once prayed for. It really is, you know, a proof of concept, if you will. However, like it's important to remember that during those times when you're having those low frequency moments, you know, because like you know, we're talking over our highs and lows sitting at your dining room table in your apartment.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so like the things we envision, like I remember we was talking about like this 2-bedroom apartment, like goddamn, and we would repaint the walls and whatnot in there because it was in New York at the time and stuff. So much has changed since then. However, the vision of like just adulthood and moving forward and like with our like minds, that's still very true to what we're portraying now. So I have faith in everything is supposed to be happening as is.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's it's even funnier to me only because like I remember when you first moved out. And I was like so fucking happy. I was like, "Yo, my nigga got his own place." And, you know
man,
what I mean?
that was I remember you. I FaceTimed you and shit. I was like, "Oh, thank you, nigga."
Nigga, I was happy as hell. Goddamn,
that was heartwarming.
And like we mentioned before, you know what I mean? There isn't, you know, at least in our family, it's not a lot of that.
Right.
Where there's people who can live their own lives for themselves.
Right.
And do it on their own accord.
And it's the decision making. Like we really we have residual income. This is the residual income from the decision making, like that we laid the groundwork in maybe middle school, starting from then, because the moment you can start making decisions for yourself, it's the mistakes that will affect you for the rest of your life that you don't want to be making, and you can make those anytime between middle school and now.
Nah, for real. That's one of the topics I put on here. A few days ago, when we had spoken, I came over.
Yeah.
I was talking to my mom about it, and we joked about how I usually, people would look at me a certain way, but they wouldn't really tell. You couldn't tell that shit is going on with me. You know what I mean? Even when I do look a little annoyed or frustrated, you wouldn't know the severity of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I put on here, I don't look how I feel, which means that I can always come up. I don't look like what I've been through. I don't look like the situations that I've been in or things from my past. I just don't look. I don't look it.
Right.
But that puts me in a position to where, on the other side, knowing I don't look that way, I can always keep going for it.
Precisely. It's like the Instagram posts or anything. It's really a slideshow. Nobody gets to see how anybody really lives or how any moment to moment really feels. I've been saying lately, it's been a saying that I need to put on a t-shirt or something like that, but it's easier to see me than it is to be me. But that sounds like it's part of one of those concepts where it's just like you want to carry yourself in that light, because who wants to, it's like, as a man, showing weakness is going to or you feel like, at least we're raised to feel like showing weakness is a bad thing. Any kind of stumble or anything, it's just, you don't show it. You don't show that emotion. You just truck through. You make it onto the other side, and everybody would feel like everybody would be none the wiser. That was my plan with this whole my idea with love. I was just like, I don't want to why commit to anybody when I could just work on myself, become the best version of myself, and just pop up perfect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But monkey wrench.
It's funny you even say that. I learned that you're just in life, you can never achieve perfection. You're just always going to be growing and learning.
Yeah.
You can be better than what you were before, but you're not ever gonna I don't want to say ever, but as far as no flaws, nothing wrong with you, just experiencing and that degree in which it's Christ-like, you know what I'm saying? You just can't reach it, you know what I mean? But what we can do is, like I said, is be better than we were before.
Yeah.
Not make the same mistakes, enhance ourselves, enhance those around us, and just influence, have a positive influence on everyone who we come across.
I just noticed something interesting. It might come out of left field, and maybe it wasn't something that I noticed at all. But when I'm looking at you at the Blistex in your hand, for example, I harken back to when you had the joint in your hand. I don't know what it was, but it had a screw in it, and it was twisted. And I was just like, "Are you a tinkerer? Do you find yourself having to tinker with shit?"
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I don't notice it. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Do.
I'm like, is this now I'm gonna explore into a deeper vein of thought. What does that have to do with anything? I'm trying to figure shit out and stuff.
I mean, I should maybe, and even if I'm not holding on to something, it would just I'll probably be play with my hands or whatever. But then again, nah, it's it's been many times we on the pod. I'm just right here.
True.
All right. I reached over, I just felt it, and I was like, oh.
I swear I'm a psychologist. I said, wait a second, you tinker with things. You must be a hypothalamus, just making shit up, man. That's what the white people did.
Haberdashery hemoglobins.
And we believe them.
They be right sometimes.
Yeah, no.
And we believe it.
Niggas be right though. Niggas smart.
Nigga been practicing.
Terrible.
Oh my god.
I had a whole long list of
I
stuff,
see
but
that
it's so
shit.
small. Like I hate leaning forward to see it.
I mean, at least you can.
Yeah, goddamn opportunity goes. No, so in the.
I didn't see my sister. Damn.
Where is that?
Right
Oh,
there.
that's the dawn.
Oh, see, I'm like, that's
I
right
was gonna say, how is that gonna come off to this kid? My sister, damn. What? What the kind of shit is that? No, but that is a point of saying, okay, so when I was leaving here that one day, because I was drinking a little bit, goddamn, and I was proud that, like, I got the skill.
This nigga got a death wish.
He said, he got the skill. He got the kill. But nigga, I was so I called my sister because she taught the nigga how to drive, and I was just like, oh, hype and shit, and motherfucking, what is it? When she was on FaceTime with me, I peeped that she was wearing yellow. I was like, this but a bitch, you always wearing some dark colors, not even some brightness. You all happy and shit. Like, I mean, like, goddamn. But yeah, she was mentioning to me this is the first time she's been in a relationship where she doesn't feel like she has to be the dominant woman. Like, and like, goddamn, it made me consider, because and Miss Lady was saying something similar where she was just like, she's usually the dominant figure in her courtships, and so dealing with like a guy like myself and being so submissive, like it's very new to her as well, and it was just it no pun intended, it dawned on me that like maybe
This nigga a rapper for real.
that maybe like the reason that like we've been seeing a lot of masculinity in our women these days, and they probably have felt for a long time like they had to turn the tides, like they had to defend themselves against men, and maybe if we show them better love, then we get more feminine women.
You're right, and I totally agree with you. And 2 points. One of them I wrote down was that my mom told me to start sharing more love, and I was like, can't do that. But but she was right. And 2, I saw a post just like a week ago where it was like the reason why women are becoming like a little bit more of a dominant force is because no one is teaching our men how to be more masculine, and women are finding themselves to having to better themselves, protect themselves, provide for themselves, and now when a man comes along, they're looking at them like, well, you can't do anything for me because you're not in that position where I can even allow myself to be led by you.
Precisely. Shoot, that like there's a lot of and it's been before the tide had come, but even still, my sister-in-law is, you know what I mean, is my sister's wife. There's a lot of relationships that have changed the tide just because, like, not just because of that, like, but more so there aren't a lot of men that are coming to, like, that are setting the bar, really. They don't fit the standard for what a man was supposed to provide. And so yeah, there's been a lot of fallback on that.
And we talked about this before, like, men these days, like, a bunch of bitches, like,
you know what I'm saying? That's the bottom line.
Yeah, they either want more for themselves and don't know how to get it, or they just don't and are satisfied with that and are looking and are being raised by women being raised by a one-parent household with a single mom and no man in the house, so they're used to having a woman being taking care of them. So when they get into a relationship, now they're expecting this woman to do the same thing for them.
Shoot, speaking of relationships, like, goddamn, and throughout your life up to this point, you've been like a serial monogatrier.
Monoga D.
Yeah, because I was about to say monogamy, but like monogamous, and it's. I mean, I guess. Yeah. And
but it's never been like that for me though. I never was the one to have a woman like take care of me.
No, I'm not. That's not what I was alluding to. More so than like when those had ended, or when some of those had ended, like it's come to have. Have you come to a point of vindication with any of that? Like, just because you're at this point in your life?
Well, and as you know, like recently, situation came back to my life. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it played back so much in my head, not only of what me and this person, what we were, but the person I was with before them, and then before, like, it just went down the line. And nowadays, I wouldn't call it vindication, because I don't have like much resentment towards those ones. You know what I mean? Like those older ones. Okay. You know, aside from the most recent one. But them, like back there in my past, like before, like I moved to Philly and everything. Yeah. I don't have much resentment for them, so I can't even say I feel vindicated. But I do feel like just just a better version of me, and having solace in that. Okay. With nothing to do with them. Okay. Because one way or another, it wouldn't matter to me if they were in my life now or never again.
Okay. Now, see, I was trying to be slick, right? Because like I was trying to get to that without putting your business on Front Street, and I wanted to get to that point because you had mentioned to me that same Miss Lady had taken. In between the time in which you two were apart, she had vacated and jumped to the other side. She was with a lady. Like, goddamn.
She be fucking with God, because I did it wrong. And I can't believe it.
He said, and I ain't changed, no. I'ma fuck up her world.
Oh, well. I'm still a dog-ass nigga. That's not how that ended. Just to clarify.
He said it happens all the time.
Think about it when you lay down at night. He snapped on that.
There's something ain't right. It can be creeping on you, and it might not be no dude. This is for my girls and their girls. That was so goofy.
He killed that shit. I love that fucking song.
It was a great song. It just, it sounds
it's straight.
It sounds fun.
Yeah, it's
like
straight.
That's like when I was looking at R. Kelly's albums, song titles. And that shit, what did it say? It said something about a motherfucking nah, this shit is bad. This shit let me know that R is guilty. Like, whenever that shit.
Man, we been knowing that nigga was a nasty man.
Yeah. That title, what did it say? It said, I don't want you to. I gotta see it now. I can't let it go.
But while you search for that, to answer your question, like, yeah, with their situation, it. Like I said, that wasn't even vindication for me though. It was just more of like I guess confirmation that how I felt was right, and they have remorse because they knew that they were wrong, and I admitted to them like it was foolish of me to jump into a situation with you right after I had gotten out of one.
Well, the reason I was bringing that in though is because we was talking about like that financial wave, that shift that was going on, like manhood, like how we was lacking what it takes. And Miss Lady had her lady that she had vacated to. She had confessed that it was like a financial shift there, where she was being judged as like heavily as she would possibly judge the next motherfucker.
Yeah. And that's what I kind of that's what I came to understand more, is that like I said, it taught me that I do need to be better. I do, and I want to be better. And how a lot of people...
I like the crotch on you.
Oh, do you?
That was the name of the song.
What album is this on? Makes sense.
12.
Makes sense.
Say what it seems like you're ready.
One. That nigga said, and I said, give me your tongue.
Crazy. Say, give me the time. I don't need to be alive. All I need is a...
I don't see nothing wrong. That shit go hard still. I don't go fuck.
He said she ain't even 25.
I'm about to cross the line.
Oh, there comes the love.
Man, I still be singing "I'm a flirt," same girl. I don't give a fuck, man. Like that shit still
like
go hard.
it's hard for me to like try to. I mean, I can separate the two and know that he's in jail and he's already paying for his crimes.
Yeah.
So he ain't getting paid for me listening to this song.
Facts.
And if he is, hey, fish gonna swim, birds gonna eat. Hey.
I was gonna say shit. If he is, that's commissary, nigga. He ain't getting.
Like goddamn, what he gonna do? Get a Sour Patch Kid?
Yeah, he gonna be fucking running to jail.
Listen, I don't know,
Singing.
man. Like I just the same way we forgave Mike. I think I don't forget.
But they admitted like Mike ain't do shit. Like Mike didn't do a motherfucking thing. What was it, picking up?
Yeah, peeped it or died.
Oh shit. Well,
it looks like I'm done with this shit. I was tired of trying to make this thing work.
Wait. I think it is picking up.
It is picking up now, but it's gonna die soon.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I'm just like,
so I can take this off.
Yeah. He got some good audio.
Praise God.
Woo! Now you know what? I'm gonna pause that and I'm gonna pull one of them drums if I could. We about to turn it up.
We're gonna take a little intermission.
You might call me now.
Giving you some of my play.
He said, "Thank God." Let me see what it sound like this for, huh?
No, I was gonna pick up where we already hit record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Never mind.
But like I was saying, this person, they wanted more from me, and it taught me that I should want more for myself, and I did. But I didn't really know how like going about getting more for myself, and now that I also understand the landscape of what dating is kind of like, women want you to be all you can be.
Yeah.
Women want,
and there's actually nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, and I think that a lot of men, they have a hard time accepting that because
it turns into it's a problem they have with themselves that they turn into a problem for you because they're mad at you for wanting more out of them.
Right, because they're insecure. That insecurity is there because like they don't see that in themselves. You know what I mean? But if a woman is into you, she wants to be into you.
Or you feel too pressured to do something that you don't feel like doing.
That too.
And that just is a personality differences. That's just people growing apart at that point. If you don't feel like being more than you are in the current moment and somebody's requiring more of you.
Yeah. Go find a nigga who be more.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's about the bottom line that is.
Yeah.
Shit, I got too many sisters I've given that advice.
I drink to that.
Shit.
And now, like, and with them telling me that, and I don't know if it was specifically that, but generally speaking, they alluded to the fact that what me and their issue was their issue as well. So, and these days it's like, and it was funny too, because I pretty much told him, I was like, at first I was really. Not really, but my first thought was like, man, like, cause I seen the message and I was like, I don't need to
entertain shouting.
Yeah, but then I'm just like, fuck it, like
why not?
Yeah,
explore.
like, cause at this point, and it wasn't like it was a terrible thing like my last shit. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't no like.
It was a disagreement.
Hard feelings.
Yeah, it was a natural human disagreement. It wasn't like it left off terribly and it was like things that can never be forgiven type time. It was like, it just wasn't working out the way it could have been. This nigga drunk already. He said. But yeah, it was like, I can to understand my life and where it is now. And knowing that things do happen for a reason, like it's whatever. It's whatever.
Yeah. I think we've gotten to this point because we kind of just look at it's almost like risk and reward, Right. There's opportunity costs to things, and that's one of the things I mentioned in my list. Because I was looking at I was trying to study up on economics just because like I fell into a loophole of YouTube trying to learn like different shit.
Right.
And that was one of the topics is opportunity costs and.
I remember when I first learned that shit. But go ahead.
Yeah, opportunity costs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like it kind of. Man, how we spending our time? Economics. And so, in the face of love. I'm done trying to segue into these fucking topics while I'm reading them, and I can't find the words to say. I'm reading this damn shit. I said, how are you spending your time? That's economics, right? So in the face of love, no wonder I don't operate well in the realm of feelings. That's the topic I was trying to bring up, god damn it. But I couldn't get it out.
Let's dive in.
Yeah, let's dive in. But yeah, like motherfucking. Okay, cause like when I've caught myself laid up recently. Mm-hmm. Like laid up. You know what I mean? Like wake up late in the day. I'm under your body. You know what I mean? I feel good too. Like, I don't want to move. I'd rather be here than anywhere else.
Yeah.
That is a blessing to have because it's a mutual thing. Mm-hmm. So it's even better that it's mutual. It's another thing when it's at an extreme.
Yeah.
Everything, I mean, and what is it called?
Everything in moderation?
Yeah, I was about to say everything in rations.
Everything is scraps.
We both. I said we both. Nah, but like, yeah, man. Like, so that's where I was going with that. Like, motherfucking. There's a point when I realized that, like, if I'm sitting here laid up, what am I doing? Like, I always feel like I should be more productive with my time. So yeah.
You remember the rapper Black, like with the 6? He had this one song where he was like just talking about girls, and I forget the exact bar. He was like, "All this girl wanted to do was lay and just lay and lay this and the third." Mm-hmm. And he was like, but I got shit to do. I want things to do.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of like what you're saying. It's good to have that quality time where you're enjoying each other. It's you're just in that space with somebody who you can just be comfortable with.
Right.
Those times are very important.
Right.
But in succession and in the extreme where that's where nothing's getting done,
right.
How do you expect to even maintain that moment?
Precisely.
Because that moment won't ever happen again if it's constantly taking you away from everything else that you need to do.
And you know what? I couldn't even be present in that moment. I'm sitting there trying to tell myself, literally in like almost meditation fashion, yo, it's cool. Like all your bills is paid. This is good. You have time. You can be here. You're allowed to do this.
And yo, I don't want to change gears here, but
yeah, you're cool.
You just said that, and I find that again it's balanced, but I'm always stuck between doing like everything I possibly can that I have to do productive wise, and then coming over here and being like, all right, well, I am going to do it, and I am doing those things, but let me have some time to rest in between. Let me try to enjoy, have some fun in between.
Let me live life a little bit.
Just a little between, and I have such a hard time trying to find a balance with that, only because it's like, I feel like when I am having that fun and that rest time, that opportunity cost is eating at me.
Yep.
And I know I should be having this rest time, this time to be in the moment, to enjoy someone, or just even go outside or go to the gym, whatever it is. If I'm not just being productive in the things that I want to be productive in, that balance is so hard to maintain. And I think in this society where, work is a thing that obviously that's going to get you to where you need to be, again, it's just as important to have those moments where, you're able to relax, you're able to have some fun.
I just heard a bar that I wanted to debate with you.
Let's debate.
The bar went something like, I heard from an older one, or you can be happy and great, but you can't have both.
It's truth to it.
It's very true, and I don't want to believe it. That's why I want to debate it. Because I don't want to believe. I believe that I can do anything I put my mind to, so I can create a balanced world for myself where I am great and happy with my life. I do believe you can do that. I believe it was a hot bar. It was a nice thing to say.
I remember I seen this a documentary with that ain't loud. With this documentary with Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine. They were talking about the creation of, like, Aftermath and Interscope and all that kind of shit. And Jimmy Iovine, he's the executive of Interscope Records and the co-founder of Beats by Dre. So billionaire, rich white man. You know what I'm saying? But really dope. And he was like, he had a wife, he had a family, but he would be on the phone 24/7. He took the phone in his bathroom just to have nothing but all these phone calls with meetings with all these people, executives, board meetings, artists, all this type of shit for days on end. His wife would bring him food, leave it in front of the door. He would never touch it. He'd be locked in the bathroom, right? And eventually, that drove his wife and his kids away. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But he's a billionaire. He
Right.
is, again, co-founder of Beats by Dre, executive of a fucking one of the best record labels ever.
Right.
Very successful man.
Sacrifices.
But how happy are you when the people who you were creating this life with and for are no longer there and see you as a detriment because they don't have you? You know what I'm saying?
Comes down to who you were really creating it for. It answers a lot of questions for you when you get what you want. Like what was more important to you, and the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's where wherein the success comes in. That, like, so you have to create it. You have to create that you can be great and still have fun. You can be great and still have the time to where you're not fully immersing yourself in whatever it is you're trying to do. But there's a possibility.
I was about to say, but you know what? As you grant me the Jimmy Iovine story, I'm just.
But then you get a Michael Jordan.
What you mean, Michael Jordan? What did he do?
Michael Jordan is to be the greatest basketball player ever.
Right.
But everyone hates this man.
That's what I was about to say. But you just giving me the Jimmy Iovine story also put me in that vein of thought. Like, I have to be faced with the reality that there are sacrifices that must be made that will put the rest of your life at risk.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, because, for example,
sure.
like, if I want to be great as I want to be, I have this love now, but the sacrifices that it's going to take and that person will have to bear the weight of.
That's what I was about to say. That
it could change them. And
but that's when you need to find, like, the people who understand what you're doing. Because if people just don't understand and they can't get with it, then they honestly probably won't even meant to even be there for that.
Right. Now, and that's the thing. Like, I'm jaded, right? So I feel like Shorty understands. She's down for the long run. I feel like that. However, I even in letting my guard down, I catch myself doing it, and it's like back up it goes. Because, like, I catch myself granting trust, and I'm like, that's just what they'd want. And then I take it right back. And so I'm back at square one. So, it's like, I'm in a space in my life where I am, because of, like, a PTSD effect, I have something good and I don't know if it's good. And I don't want to mess it up, nor do I want to be ruined.
No, that makes sense. Like, all right, so then my question for you is then, like, I guess, when do you think you'll be able to just fully, like, trust in that area?
I would have to it would all have to take the work on myself to be complete, to be honest. Because, like we all have our own insecurities, our own shit that we're dealing with. We just not are all communicative about it. And the one thing that has set our understanding apart from others is that there is such a healthy communication. And so it's a good understanding of what we're dealing with in our own spaces, in our own lives. And so it's powerful in that regard, and there's a lot of trust there, and there's a lot of honesty and transparency, so it's easy to know what's real. It's just a matter of I have a syndrome of like having been right very often. And while that may sound like it's good, now I am stuck thinking I'm always right. And so my assumptions that that lean toward the negative, like especially when it comes to love and women and excuse me, and like because I'm of the mind that women can be digmatized. Like I'm of the mind that women can fool themselves into believing their own lies, and then like create.
I feel like they do it the best.
Yeah, I'm of the mind that women will put their whole lives to the back burner for somebody that they care about in the moment, and they don't realize the difference between love and infatuation. Those are my fears. I fear being so correct in that I watch it play itself out in front of me from somebody who believes themselves. And like you know how hard it is to convince somebody to believe you when I don't believe that you even know you're lying.
And in this, even here, it made me think about a situation that I went through, where I know like this person, they said that they had these feelings for me, but I knew just because I understood who they were that it had less to do with the feelings about me and who I was. It was just what I provided for them. It had less to do with who I am, but what I provided for this person. And so when all that was said and done, this person realized that it was because I was providing what they were after. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was the security, the safety, the love, the embracement, and stuff like that. And even if some of it wasn't always that, just what I naturally do, it ended up being that. So. But to me, because I know that, like you said, it's hard to tell you that what you're feeling isn't necessarily what you think it is.
Right.
Not saying your feelings aren't valid, but the root of it isn't. It's not that whatever you think it is.
What is it, motherfucking? I tried to tell this. Damn, my bad. I goddamn it was on the tip of my tongue, but then so was this. So I kind of, but
it's alright, fuck it. But no, like you bring up a point of like just trusting. You know what I'm saying? Trust who? And I really in these days I end up trusting too much. That's my thing. So my thing now is to resist that and keep you at an arm's length. Because I already know once I put my trust in you, that means that my expectation of you is a little higher.
It also comes with a price of trust in myself too. That was a part of what I was thinking earlier that I blanked out on. Just I know that I know, like I know who I can be in the moment and whatnot, and like it's easier now because I'm aware of what works for me. And so once you're kind of in the flow of what's good for you, you can point out what's bad for you, and it feels like you're making a conscious decision to harm yourself. It's almost like smoking cigarettes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like and these days I'm just like kind of trying to make more conscious decisions towards the good and not the bad.
Nah, that's facts.
But I feel alive when I'm
When I'm doing bad.
yeah, like when I'm dead wrong.
You know you dead wrong.
Mm.
Up in the
That song takes me back to college. What a time in life where it felt like any lady I fucked, I would never get venereal disease. It felt like a whole new world. You know what I'm saying? It was so much fun. When that song dropped, Dead Wrong, like that was a time in my life where I was dead wrong. Like, and life was good. What was going on when around those vibes? What was freshman college vibes like for you? Like,
it was
or just goddamn, man, let me not even try to sugarcoat around it, man. I remember the days that created the guys we are now, that shaped a lot of the way we move. We was them cheating ass niggas. That like, you know,
All right, wait.
I was worse, if you want to put it that way. I was paint if you want me to paint it that way.
No. I'm not even gonna say who. Well, I wanna. So for me, right, what I was doing, it would teeter a little bit. Like it was some things, and then it would.
You actually had compassion.
Like for example, like I guess like the first instance would be like
New
cheating.
Year's.
Prior to that, like, or at least how she would put it was me talking to my ex. You know what I'm saying? It's cheating. But that stupid shit, right? So boom, but then New Year's, yeah, making out. You know what I mean? But of course not fucking. You know.
Yeah, we was young.
And then again,
I'm just talking about like just those days, like when Dead Wrong came out, it felt like the music was coming out that we can relate to. You know, like
it still is.
It was like, but it was at a time where it felt like it was speaking to the life that we were coming into.
And I will say, if I am being honest, like right before I graduated, now I was dating, you probably don't remember. I don't want to say her name, but I was dating somebody, and they were long distance.
Yeah.
And we were dating for a long time, but I knew it was coming to an end, so I was thinking upon myself to be like,
to do your thing.
And then so it was a shorty in school who I ended up being cool with, and she was over every night, and I was digging in them guts. She bust every night, sneaking into the crib. Goddamn, she'll go to work, come over, fucking yep.
It just I remember the adventures, and you know what too. I feel like an old head, like goddamn reminiscing on like goddamn what used to be. Cause I was in the crib, right, and I'm sitting there writing, and I'm thinking, and I'm just like, the reason I haven't been writing as much, or the reason that as much hasn't been coming to mind, is because I haven't created many adventures to pull from, and it's just like I'm at a point where like, what's the next adventure? What to do? Life used to feel like more about fun, or it used to lean towards fun, or things felt funner. I don't know, like
I think because we had less this responsibility.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason, and I think too that
100% right.
Like you said, when you were in college, you felt like you were just invincible.
Yeah, and, you know what too? That's all like gated communities.
Yeah,
like motherfucking. At the time when I was in college, from a lot of the stuff, like a lot of my life, I felt like a lot of the consequences weren't going to be severe. Mm-hmm. Now I'm an adult. Like there's nothing that's going to hold any bars against me.
And I think too, I think back then we were looking at it with like rose tinted lenses.
Yeah.
And we were dreaming
an idea of what life would look like.
Yeah, we were dreaming a whole lot, and now we're faced with reality, a whole lot of different shit.
Yeah.
And now I won't say it's harder to dream. But now, when we are dreaming, we also have to bring it to reality.
I will say though, my adult life, I ain't gonna hold you. It's lit.
Yeah,
it's fucking lit. Like at this point, like I've had a lot of highs and lows. Believe you me. However, like I finally made it to the point where like my life is in a position, I have control over a lot, and man, it feels good. It does.
I mean, if shit, dog. Like, if it's anything that you just like remind me of is that uh, just as you get older and as an adult, you do lose that part of your childhood which did dream a lot and didn't really care for the consequences. Was looking to have a whole lot more fun. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I think as time goes on, and maybe that's the answer to the question I was proposing earlier, like what the balance is between just working versus working with fun in between, is that intentions our intention should be about what feels good.
Yeah.
What fun, like how much, like we shouldn't. Of course, we have to dictate our success off of our achievements, but also we should dictate our success off of how much joy, how much fulfillment do we have.
And that's funny you mentioned that. That was another topic I was writing on for myself. Like, goddamn, just defining success for yourself. Like, goddamn.
We getting deep.
yeah, real shit. Like, cause motherfucking like, I be putting this into place all the time. A lot of times, like sometimes I'm really happy. Like life is good. I'm not in a mansion or anything. However, like I got guaranteed money coming in. I got money going out, but the bills is getting paid. This, that. I don't have the fanciest car. I got the car. Like that. Goddamn. It's just when you and it does probably have to do with coming from less, but like having enough or more than enough is always a blessing to me. And I feel wealthy in that regard because more than that, aside from the intangibles, there's things that money can't buy that only respect and your personality can attract.
Hell yeah.
And so I'm very grateful that I've garnered the things I do have, the relationships that I have, people in my circle that like motivate me to do better with myself and my life and shit. Like that shit is a powerful tool, and it is worth more than $1. I assure you. So yeah, man. Like when it comes to thinking about wealth or success, I feel like we've all reached success as. Not all of us, but we've reached success. You and I, like we may not be, we keep the fire under our own asses by being so hard on ourselves, but we are successful as we speak.
And I think that's where a lot of my frustration comes in because like I agree with you, we are, but like I said, for me, I'm way more harder on myself than what I probably would lead. I will lead to have people believe, but like I don't. I'm just never satisfied. I'm just never satisfied.
And you shouldn't be.
And a lot of times I just like I can't even like. So I agree with you that we are successful, but then there's a part of me where it's just like I'm just not. I'm nowhere close to anything. I'm not. I'm so. I when I tell you if there was if my head was like a football team, I'd be the worst coach because I would never give my team props for anything.
I just thought of it this way, and maybe this analogy.
We need to win 10 Super Bowls for me to be satisfied.
Maybe this analogy may help you. I don't know, but it literally just like the imagery of it happened in my head. Think of success as a plant, and we all have this plant. It's not expensive to get the plant. Success is a plant. You have the plant. Yours is just growing at a different rate. Everybody's is growing at a different rate. It's depending on what you feed it.
Yeah. That's gonna be it. But his plant is bigger.
Yeah. His plant is bigger. But we all got it.
Yeah.
And this plant that you have, this the distance that you've traveled in your journey, you've made it to your apartment. You've got the this, you've got the that. It's sprouting. Don't starve it. Don't starve it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. I'm definitely constantly, taking care of it.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not to think that. More so than the way in which one would starve it is to think that they don't have it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You have it. I want to put it in your mind that you do have success. Now it's just time to build up on it. It's like investing or something. Like just that way, so that way it doesn't feel like a journey to success. You know what I mean? Because like then you'll never feel like you've done enough. But it's when you look at it as you're already on the ship of success. Like now it's just time to keep it sailing. You know what I mean?
You're right. I totally agree with you on that.
Because there's a lot you gotta. While we don't play the comparison game, because it has a lot of faults.
Yeah.
Like you gotta keep in mind that you are further ahead than you would rather be.
Yeah, definitely not. I'd rather be.
So while you're on this ship, it's almost like the concept that I was talking about with the United States, like black people and not being for them, and a lot of stuff like red lines and a lot of things that are in place politically and systemically that keep us down. You know, albeit the case, there's no better place for me.
Yeah.
And so I have to improve where I'm at instead of like looking for a new palette to begin only to find out that it's the hardest shit ever.
Yeah.
So
and you're right. And I guess for me, I just always feel like I'm just always at like square one.
mm-hmm.
I'm just always at square, like no matter what it is, like, you know, I guess like example would be like the gym, for example, whatever. Like I know that I look way better and I'm stronger than I was previously.
Right.
Just even like 6 months ago when I like really started taking it seriously.
Yeah, man. You wasn't lying when you said the legs thing. Just stop being a bitch. Put on the you know what I mean? Yeah.
Like I can for sure say that there is success in that progress that I've made. Like I told you before, I still feel like I'm there. Like I still feel like that. I still look at myself and be like, nah, like this is not it. This ain't it. And it's fucked up because, you know, it may seem like I'm not grateful, and I definitely am about the things that I do possess in the life that I've created. It's just that I'm just constantly moving the goalposts further and further and further and further.
Well, that's the thing about being the insightful people that we are, because while we have the knowledge to know that, you know, balance, this, that, so on and so forth, we also know that having the mindset of never being satisfied with yourself is the only thing that's going to keep you motivated when nothing else is there to motivate you.
Yeah.
You have to feel unsatisfied with yourself, because if you don't, then you will be happy where you're at and you'll stay there.
Yeah. And
so
then,
like I'm not mad to hear that you're not satisfied. That you're supposed to feel that way.
But like I said, it's supposed to be a balance though. I just don't feel like I have the balance of where like I can be like, I'm satisfied with the accomplishments that I've made and I can build upon them, like you said.
Yeah.
Build upon my successes. I'm just not looking at, like, I take it out of my head. Like once I do it, I take it out and I'm just like, now what else? Like what else can I do?
I feel you on that. I'm starting to feel like balance is just a fucking word that we say, like a thing that we want as humans. Like balance is it's become it's almost like it's not realistic. It's almost like balance is not realistic to me anymore. Like it's almost like it is common knowledge to know that in order to be the great success, like at a high level of success, there will not be balance. It's like that's accepted knowledge.
Well, I'll put it to you like this.
You will always be at an extreme on the working in.
All right, so boom, right? All right, so again, if you're using Michael Jordan, you know, he had an extreme drive to win and was extremely competitive, right? And which made him the great.
Right.
But if you were to ask him now if that was the best thing to do, he would tell you no, because he lacked the balance. Watch the documentary. He started crying. The nigga was crying because why his teammates they hate his guts.
And
there
it was
no
necessary.
balance. Yeah, and he said that, but he was extremely remorseful because the balance wasn't there to be a leader and to be an all-around good basketball player with his teammates and his coaches and all those things.
Was he remorseful?
He was crying.
Into it now.
He was crying.
Was he remorseful?
You didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it.
Watch The Last Dance.
However, this man is.
But we're talking
speaking
about
against. I don't even think his remorse was fake. More so than fuck the remorse. It's just like this is beyond remorse. I'm thinking like formulas and math. Is this what's necessary for success?
Obviously, for success in that degree, you have to have a little bit teetering and less balance if you are trying to be that great as Michael Jordan.
Right.
But now we have a LeBron James who is just as arguably as great, but everyone loves him. How does that happen? That's balance.
I wouldn't say everyone loves him, though.
More people love LeBron James who play with him than Michael Jordan.
You're 100% right
That's
about
what I'm
that.
trying to make.
You're 100% right about that.
Look, LeBron James, every team that he's played with, they will all give you, 99% of them will give you good reviews on LeBron. But the Bulls and the Wizards and everybody and niggas who played against Mike and with Mike, they have a whole lot of disparaging things to say about him.
From what I have heard, because I'm not deep into sports, so I probably am not the best person to speak on it. But from what I have heard about it, it is that LeBron is more of a team raiser than a himself raiser. However, by the same like LeBron makes his team better, while Michael Jordan was just better by himself.
Well, he also was playing with people who were good, and because they had to keep up with him too. So in a lot, they both made their teams better, but you can even argue that they didn't win a championship.
I'm not the person to talk to when it comes to the sports rank.
But it's in the topic of just like the balance and extremes. Those are two perfect examples of when these two great basketball players who have won just as many. I think LeBron has got 6 rings now, or at least more than 3, but. He's won with different teams. He won with Cleveland, Miami,
you remember when
Lakers.
I went to Agora, that cyber charter school?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I met these 2 Chinese girls that said they used to be neighbors to LeBron, and Chinese girls that used to be neighbors to LeBron, they was rich and they're not famous. So take that with a grain of salt, what they have to say about them.
Why were they at your school then?
Agora, it's a cyber charter school, so like people that. It's basically almost like private school.
Oh.
So like instead of going to a public school, so I could see how a lot of rich kids would end up in there because like they don't want to be around a populace.
Yeah.
But like those Chinese girls were saying that they were neighbors to LeBron at one point and they disliked him just because it was they were saying he was an asshole, but like whatever. Y'all, I take that with a grain of salt. But like from like publications that I listen to and stuff, people that aren't LeBron fans and whatnot, especially with the movie that just came out. Oh my God, you've been hearing the bombs of reviews. Like
I've been hearing mixed reviews about it.
Mixed.
I've been hearing a lot of mixed.
I've been hearing a lot of shit.
I hear a lot of shit, but I also hear that it wasn't as bad as people were making it out to be. That's what I've been hearing.
I bet.
That's what I'm hearing.
Who have you been hearing from? Well, I don't even want to put that. I don't want to give them the attention.
But like it's no one specific. Just like just Twitter, Instagram, the podcast that we listen to. Like it's mixed reviews. I'm not just hearing everyone who fucking hates it. That's what I'm saying.
Makes sense. Maybe I'm just hearing everyone who fucking hates it. And it's a majority of people who fucking hate it. But I say that to say that like the opinions that they were coming at it with like that. LeBron just is he comes off as such a person who like is self-loving and center of the universe and I'm the king and Michael Jordan had this why not me I'm number 23 too now like
I don't get that from
shit
him.
Like that like I don't and I don't watch sports. I'm not saying this is my opinion. This is the opinion that I've been seeing other people have that are more into it than myself. So
and shout out to Jose, my nigga. He loves LeBron. I would always like fuck with him about LeBron to get him pissed off. But Jose would tell you, because he's more in sports than I even am. He's deep into that shit. He would tell you that people hate LeBron just because it is LeBron.
It's fun to hate LeBron.
It's fun.
It's like
you couldn't hate Michael Jordan.
It's a Drake effect.
Yeah, like that's the thing. You couldn't. People again. So Drake and Jay-Z. You have to love Jay-Z. You can't hate Jay-Z.
And if you do, what was his verse? It says a lot about you if you're not feeling us.
Nigga, explain it, yo. Like, dog, like you can't hate Hove, but it's fun to hate Drake. It's fun to call him. He's light skinned, he sings, he's sensitive, all this type of bullshit.
But it's getting to the point. Certified Lover Boy coming, man. It's getting to the point where it's not cool to hate on Drake no more.
That's what I'm saying, though. So in this regard, and back to original topic,
it's getting hard to deny, man.
Back to originally, the extreme and the balance, like it can be success in both of these areas.
Certified Lover Boy coming out. Are you excited? I know you are.
I'll tell you this. When Views is coming out, I mark that on my calendar, nigga. What the fuck? You mean as soon as I get a date,
yo? But
I'm making my own rollout.
What I can give to you, Kobe, is that you are like, to my knowledge and to my lifetime and experience, you are somebody who's been loyal to this movement since goddamn before So Far Gone. Like you put me on a Drake. You've been loyal to this movement since like you was like 12, nigga.
Yeah.
And so like to be goddamn 24 going, this shit's crazy.
The first song.
That's 12 years ago, nigga.
The first song I heard from this nigga, and I didn't even know what his name was. I was always on Christian's computer, and I heard Lust for Life for the first time. And I was like, yo, this shit is the best shit in the world. I had that shit on repeat.
Lust for Life, how does it go?
I got a certain lust for life.
I don't know that song.
And it stands. I haven't heard this shit in a minute, but that was the first song. It had the little, like the real soft beat, and it was like, so I heard that, and immediately I was like, yo, whoever this is amazing. And then, I heard the whole So Far Gone, and then right after that, Thank Me Later, I came out, and I'm like, yo, this nigga's the GOAT.
Going into the rabbit hole, I think that's such a crazy, because when you say that, I feel excited about being black, and I'm going to say why it comes to that thought, right? Because, like, motherfucking, I think that is a mutual experience for all of us, for some artists in the rap game.
For sure.
Like, in our upcoming, we've had a time where some of us have had a couple of times, I know I have, where you have, there's the birth of a favorite artist.
Yeah.
And I remember when Lil Wayne had come into my Rolodex as my top proclaimed favorite artist and took the place of Cassidy and stuff like that. Just cause like it was just, and this was back when like YouTube was fresh. YouTube, you can still probably find porn.
Yeah,
on this
yo, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, like
motherfucking
titties. You would get Rick rolled. Like this, I'm talking like this was when Gilly was saying that he ghost wrote for Lil Wayne and shit like that. Like this was these days.
Yeah. And
I'm just like, I'm on pause, but I'm on Lil Wayne top at this point. Like goddamn, I'm listening to all the droughts. I'm learning all the words and shit.
I was arguing with my boy Antoine that he was better than Hove. I was arguing that heavy.
Yeah, like I was because my brother was the main one on Hove, and I was like, man, like brother would always have like a stack of all like Hove shit, like just CDs days, you know what I'm saying? So like, goddamn, it just never occurred to me how it could appeal to him more than Lil Wayne shit. Lil Wayne shit was just hitting me.
So boom, I've been having this debate in my head for a minute, and not debate, but just this thought process. Do people feel about Lil Baby how we feel about Wayne on his rise?
You know what's crazy?
Because think about it, right? Wayne came out, was the hottest nigga under the sun, and that was a bar of it. Hottest nigga under the sun, cleared himself, the best rapper alive, was on everybody's song, remixing his shit, like 4-time platinum album, like going crazy. And we were saying that he was better than the nigga that was on top. You fast forward now, Lil Baby coming out hot on everybody's shit. Everything he does is fire. Now people are saying, oh, he's up there with Drake.
You know what though?
Like what?
It speaks to the story of life or the circle of life. Like goddamn, when I was coming up, luckily I was in that median age where sure I could be influenced, but I still had enough sense to think for myself. And so like while Lil Wayne had become my favorite, these were upgrade you days. I got my seat down low and my window like they crack. Nothing in the valve. Like all that shit was coming out. I thought he was the bee's knees, best thing since sliced bread. But then as I get older and I start listening to Jigga, or going back to his verses, feeling it, there was literally like no going back. It was like, I don't know what clicked for me, or maybe it was a maturity sense, but it was as if Lil Wayne was spitting and it was hot.
Yeah.
But in my maturity, it made me realize what you say and what you say are like can be two totally different things.
That was the whole Royce and Lupe shit.
Yeah.
Royce was saying some shit. Lupe was saying shit.
Oh, yeah. Clown
shit, yo.
You might as well say, this dude.
But you're right, like, and that's how I feel like today. You can't. I mean, and people are gonna say Baby is up there with Drake, but when you get like 5 years from now, and Drake is already kind of at Hov status where Hov was.
Right.
You get further
now,
along.
I finally would say that you are allowed to give Drake the credit that Hov got back in the day, because he's created that stamp on a new generation. Not necessarily the old one, but there's a whole new generation that he's created his impression on.
Yeah, just like back then, where you like a Hov feature would bless your whole career, a Drake feature would bless your whole career.
Precisely.
And it's a movie every time Drake come out, the same way it's a movie every time Hov come out.
Shit, I'm speaking from a person who was trying to be the guy who only listened to oldies, who didn't listen to any other genre. Like Drake, I tried so hard to deny him.
You can't.
But you cannot deny, like, this man is the GOAT right now.
Nah, fact.
Like, he's really like the top in the game right now. Like, you got it.
And I think, and again, so if we're talking about Baby and Drake, it's like, all right, sure, Baby is the hottest thing smoking right now. You know, it's fire.
And I can't believe it either.
It's dope. Like, and you know, I play him in the gym sometimes. You know what I mean? But obviously, I'm not his biggest fan.
Right.
I can just acknowledge that he's hot at the moment.
Right.
But again, when you compare a nigga who's now been in the game for like 11 years and was just labeled by Billboard the artist of the decade, you ain't about to tell me that this little nigga is better than this man.
You know my loyalty standards when it comes to artists and anything. Like, these motherfuckers, like Young Dolph, anything. Like, so when Drake was introduced to the game, I really couldn't pay much attention to him, because guess whose umbrella he was under?
Wayne.
You know what I'm saying? And so Wayne's my favorite. So I'm thinking this.
But that made me like,
well,
Drake,
you're more open-minded
Nicki,
than
Tyga.
me.
I was heavy on Tyga.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're way more open-minded than me, because I was like, oh, this nigga's poop. Like, if it wasn't Wayne, I wasn't feeling it for real. So like for Drake to come into the game and like to get a you the fucking best out of him, I just thought he was just gonna be another artist that Wayne was gonna milk.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about him being the next up.
Boy.
That's why I was so confused. Like, it threw me off when you would be such a fan of him back in the day, because again, he just felt like a B-side to me. He didn't feel like he was the star.
So it's so interesting how so it's so different for me, because I can't even put myself in those shoes to even understand how you would even think like that.
Right.
Like, you're valid and know how you think.
Yeah. I want to see where your thought process was.
I can't even visualize thinking like in that time of his ascension from Thank Me Later to Take Care, like those that time frame.
Well, and by that point I was busy denying his.
That's ascension. What I'm saying. So in that time, I can't even fathom how someone could deny it. Like, I can't even fathom. Like, he was like, again, the hottest shit smoking, and especially when Take Care came out, and he was on fucking Problems. He was on No Lie. He was on Nigga Shit Killing It. He was on Pop That Shit with French Montana and Rick. He was going crazy.
Right.
He was going crazy.
Right.
And you couldn't deny this man at that point. And like it's just.
But you know what too? That speaks to spaces where we were, what you're doing in your life. Mm-hmm. Because like shit, you're only gonna hear that kind of shit like when you're at parties, or if you're a party goer, or if you like that energy. You know, like you brought me into that world. And so I wouldn't have known about any of this had it not been for yourself. I'm a very boring fella. Like like I mean, like I stick to a lot of what I know, and a lot of the same, and I shape my life around it instead of acquiescing to what's new sometimes. And that could be to my detriment, which is why I'm very grateful that I do have you in my life, because like it's a lesson to keeping up with the times. Like I could have been the same nigga that like imagine I would have never listened to rap.
You would have never listened to new Trey shit.
Nothing.
Like,
I would have given nothing a chance. And so like I worked at in vacations, and I was like my territory, for example, was a Sears, and I just got to see firsthand how Sears had crumbled because it wouldn't keep up with the times.
Yeah,
and it's just a reality to me. My mom's put my mom's onto the iPhone game and shit, like, and it's just like I feel like, yeah, just jump aboard. This technology is just like, it's undeniable.
Yeah, it's not meant to harm you. It's meant to make things easier.
Yeah.
Evolution is required. Like, imagine if we were still fucking driving Model Ts.
Motherfucking man.
We won't get
Motherfuckers
nowhere.
talking about the government getting in their business as far as the iPhone or this or that are concerned. Like, there's nothing we can do to stop it at this point.
It's
like I don't even care about how much of my data is stolen.
Sell some information advertised towards me. That's really all it is.
Yeah.
It's just to advertise in front of you and make.
It's still gonna be up to me as to whether I make the choice to buy that thing or not. Like either way, it's another marketing tool. If I think of it this way, honestly, if I'm thinking in the name of supporting capitalism, a market that has to find prospects through data is another job.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah,
honestly, like. It is. I know it's dangerous, but it's already dangerous. Like, what the fuck, man?
But it's just like, it's only dangerous if you're like doing some bad shit.
Yeah, in the wrong hands, this, that, so on and so forth.
Like, cause let's keep it real. Like, are we trying to spy and invade on the government and like have this global terroristic plot? That's when it's
some
like.
People.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but I don't have nothing to worry about. Like,
shit, a lot of people are worried about what the government is trying to do to us. But man, listen, like
they would have done it by now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people act like the government is not supposed to have a hand in things so that it can go. Like, there has to be rules or somebody, a third party.
Laws need to be in place. Standards need to be abided by. Because if there's no rules, it's chaos. And humans are chaotic as fuck.
You think we created this just by being ourselves?
Like, even animals have hierarchies. There is a social system in the animal kingdom where you have prey and hunters. You have things that need to die in order to live. You have things that need to
understand
grow.
Their place in the
ecosystem. It's an understanding. People may think the animal kingdom is chaotic, but no, it's
balanced.
It's a system that goes on.
Mm-hmm. We're the ones that throw the balance out of whack.
We throw all that shit off.
Yo, I was just looking at this one thing that was talking about the shrapnel, and you know how Jeff Bezos just went to space and shit. There's like a lot of satellites up there, a lot of them not even being used anymore, so it's just trash out there. And sometimes like there's no law that regards space, or there's not a lot of law that regards space. So like say a satellite crashes into another, they're going fast as hell, so the shrapnel from that is like just spinning around there, and then the prediction is that at some point there's going to be so much shrapnel up there moving at such a fast pace, we can't escape those boundaries of the earth because we'll just get smacked. One little piece, you know, like the eye of a pencil, one little
it'll go through a whole thing.
Yeah, it'll leave a huge dent, and so it's just like fucking the damage that could cause. And I'm just thinking about like just the cause and effect of all the bullshit that we doing as just exploration.
It's gonna be. I'm a firm believer that it's gonna turn into Wall-E. Like we're gonna have to get we're gonna get a big fucking spaceship, leave Earth while we keep robots here to clean this shit up.
Damn, that's such a fucking double-edged sword because I love America and everything it's come to be. The TV that you have, the camera that we're utilizing, internet that we use. Yet and still, it's none of it is good for the planet, and none of it is natural. It's all not natural, and the best way to preserve the planet and our own selves is to live like the tribes did back in the day with like basically hunting techniques and nothing. And I don't want to fucking live like that.
That's why
I don't want to hunt.
That's why I just hope in the next 70, 80 years that I'm just dead and gone before all this shit happens. If I'm being honest, I don't.
Yo, me and Bree had a dead ass talk about that shit. Like, yo, we get too old. I don't even want to live like being old and incapable. Like I don't. Yeah. It's one thing to be old and have the youthful energy. It's another thing to be old and incapable and just sick and just suffering through your existence. I'd rather die.
Yeah.
Like I'm keeping it being.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get on that board, but I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying. No, it's true.
Like how depressing is that? But like motherfucking like I mean hoorah.
Hoorah!
What you want me to say, man? What do you want me to do?
What do you want me to do? I'm sorry.
I had to clean it up a little bit. They got depressing.
This been a real deep episode. Wasn't a lot of laughs in this one.
Yeah, I was trying to bring him in, but I was just like,
niggas are serious.
Yeah. Shit, man. That's what ends up happening. Though. You think, you get in your head and shit. Yeah. Hopefully, though, like my goal in sharing a lot of these thoughts is that motherfuckers will hear that and hear a lot of transparency in it, so that they can be honest with themselves and kind of get critical with their own thoughts.
Right.
Because a lot of times, you'll avoid the honest thoughts.
Right. If anything, I look at this kind of like I'm always reminiscing. I'm always reflecting. So. I look at these episodes like time capsules almost.
Yes.
Like in a year or 2, 5, however long we're gonna continue to do this, and I'm gonna look back on these and watch them.
That's very exciting because you said that, brother man. I'm gonna speak to the future you.
Oh, shit.
Like,
Let me get my drink.
Yeah, motherfucker. Like, I told you. I told you.
I
told you. That shit. That's all I gotta say, man. Like, goddamn. I mean, it's all like just unfolding. Yeah. I told you.
Yeah, sure.
You'll see.
Hey, look. On that note, goddamn.
Jerry Burns, nigga.
Burns.
If this wasn't empty.
little fake toast.
There you go.
Little toast. You can sip the air.
It was a little sip in there, like goddamn. I didn't see it, and then it got wasn't good. Put a little hair on my chest. Like,